Say hi.
So
Mhm.
it's just honestly just a free flowing conversation,
Okay, perfect.
and it will be edited to be the right. So if you
Mhm.
say anything silly.
Okay, I like that.
So in your understanding,
Yeah.
because according to Thomas Garfat, there are like over
Mhm.
187 different definitions
Mhm.
with regard to what a CYC is.
Okay.
So, with your understanding as a student perspective, what is a
Mhm.
CYC?
I think a CYC is a person who advocates and works with children and youth that just need to be heard or need an outlet for someone. We build a rapport, we build a relationship with them to help them be like themselves. If that makes sense. I think a lot of the work that we do and that we learn at school is to slowly build and like facilitate activities and in communities, schools. Um, but I think the CYC is so important because they're like one of the frontliners. Like they're like the invisible frontliners. Like we're probably the first one they're gonna call as a youth to be like, oh, like crisis or with teachers if they want advice. Like we'd probably be the best person to talk to because we do so much learning about children can't do well unless they can. So like what skills are lacking? Like what do they need help with? We're very open minded and we give them space to make mistakes and accept them. Yeah.
Um, what drove you to this field, or how did you get in this program?
I had a CYC when I was younger in my community, at Black Court. I don't know if I should say her name, but I told her this, so I think she's fine with it. Shauna. So Shauna was working at Black Court for her year at placement, and she was just so amazing, so understanding, and just like a different adult. Because the normal adults that I've seen in school and even at the community center were just they make you feel like you're a kid. But I feel like with Shauna, she was like she opened that space to be like you're a kid, but you also have a voice. So I don't that pushed me towards that field.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
know you're at the beginning of your career, really, right? You're
Mhm.
still um, in school and what have you. But even
Yeah.
throughout this process of school, like a lot of us have dropped out. You notice from when we first started.
Yes. Mhm.
So at this point, like, what do you think has sustained you through the process thus far?
So I think honestly building a lot of relationships with my like with my friends. I consider them friends and rather than colleagues, maybe both. Um, but I also think just the way we were taught, it was so much different. Like I went to criminology before I did child needs care, and I didn't even finish my criminology degree because I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I stuck in like these 300 student classrooms where I haven't not even spoken to the professor once, and I'm just sitting in the back row, and I'm like, this is not how I'll learn. This is not what I want to do in my life. And with staying in this program, it was just so different. Like it's hands on, it's real, it's honest, and it's the whole point of it is to make a change and a difference, and that's what I want to do. I want to be behind that message. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So kind of like almost like a silly question, but I guess for
Yeah.
people who don't know,
Yeah.
where do CYCs work?
We work everywhere. Okay. We're everywhere and anywhere. We're just invisible. So schools, community centers, hospitals, mental health centers, literally, honestly, anywhere and everywhere where there's a child, like a child youth that we can work with, like literally.
And thinking about Stephanie's class, one
Hmm.
thing she's been in the field for 30, almost 30 years, if
Yep.
not more.
Yep.
Um, and she talked about the things that when she was a student she was hopeful for, but not so much anymore.
Yeah.
I guess looking from that perspective and looking
Yeah.
forward, what do you hope that the field of CYC could come to accomplish?
I didn't know that we were not regulated until she said that in class. And that opened my eyes because I was just like, how is that possible? Like, we are considered EAs in schools when realistically we're not an EA. That's not within our scope of learning. We can do so much more. And it's no disrespect to school board or anything, but or even the government. I'm just thinking that if they regulate us, they'll have to acknowledge like the work that we do is more than what they are putting us in this small box. being like, oh, like school boards you can only do this, and at hospitals you can only do this. Realistically, we can do a lot more. They just don't want to pay us that much. But I really hope that we do get regulated. I really hope that Steph's dream comes true before she quits. I feel like I just want that to happen.
Why
Mm.
the lives of
Mm.
young people, and I guess you coming from the perspective of somebody impacted by a CYC,
Yeah,
why is our work important?
because not everyone's gonna have like the relationships or support, natural supports that they have in life. Not everyone's gonna have the skills that they need to move in life the way other people do. And I think that CYC's open that door where it's just like, well, what if it's not their fault? What if they're not being uncooperative? What if they're not being like reactive or manipulative? Like, what if they're just being someone who just wants to communicate in a different way? Why don't we listen to the way they're communicating? They're not acting out. They're just telling us what's wrong, and we just need to listen to them. Yeah.
And I guess last question:
Mhm.
do you hope by the end of your career,
Yeah.
what kind of impact do you hope?
I want to be. I thought about this. I want to be someone that people remember, someone that's in the CYC field. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something where they'd be like, "Oh, this CYC Hibak Muhammad did this." I don't. I don't want to fade in the background. I don't want to burn out. I want to take care of myself and move forward, and maybe teach, maybe take what I learned and move it somewhere else to if I live somewhere else. I don't know. I just want to. I want to be able to. It's so broad to say I want to be able to make a difference, but I do. I just want. But in this field, I want to have a staple, something that says he back pushed the barrier and was able to do that. I don't know if I'm talking about myself in the third person, but you know, I just want to. Yeah, I just feel like I know that CYC, like what I had as younger and now, it's just made me feel like I'm able to do anything. So I want to be able to show them that I can do anything, and I want to make a difference when it comes to, most importantly, I think maybe what we did our topic on in English. So we did like on mental health and with minorities, with First Nation and minorities. So I feel like that's something that was very not talked about, and I feel like it was very shunned. Like I'm from a Muslim background, so an immigrant and first generation background, so um, it's a little different when we were older that we're like, oh, mental health is a real thing. Like that was not in my household. That was not where I was raised. It was more so that it was more about the religion than anything else. And I feel that, no disrespect to my parents, but they were not educated. I was not educated until I probably got into this field about the seriousness about mental health. And I think that that's something I would probably try to move forward towards. Yeah.
So towards the field of mental health.
Yeah. I want to build that door open.
And I guess I know I said last question,
Mm.
but can you give an example of a youth that you've worked with?
Mm-hmm.
Experience or story from your perspective as a CYC, anything like that.
Okay. Well, right now I work at a family shelter, and I've worked with this youth for about 2 years, but technically I'm not a CYC in the family shelter, but I've used what I've learned to try to help him. He was very disengaged when I first met him, and he was not doing well in school, wanted to drop out of school, didn't want to do anything after school. Parents didn't really understand why. He started using substances and was had a negative peer relationships, and that really affected him. He was very susceptible to not doing something wrong, but just the slope of just not caring anymore about life because he was being told, you should do this, you should say that, this is how you should do. And when he turned 16, he realized that he didn't have to do all that, but a lot of his environment really affected him. And I can say, 2 years now, he's graduating high school from with my, I say a little bit of help. I know he did a lot. I did a little bit, but I started tutoring him after in the family shelter where I worked because I was just working the front desk. And I'm very happy. He was very sad that he didn't get to graduate last year with his friends, but I'm very happy that he is graduating this year. And he's really taking a step back to a lot, and we're looking at college classes for Algonquin. So I'm very proud of that aspect. I'm very shocked that everything we did could actually work, if that makes sense. Because he was someone that was like not like a first trial and error, but someone that just came to me and I decided to like give him the opportunity to talk to me, to be the outlet. And now he sees me as someone, as a natural support for him. He doesn't have a CYC or a social worker in his life, but he has me. So, and he's very happy. So yeah, I don't know, it's so different. Yeah.